over 70 years, residents and visitors to the town of Smithtown have found the welcoming sight of Whisper, Smithtown's bull statue. Proudly displayed at the intersection of routes 25 and 25A, the monument of Whisper represents a centuries-old legend. Richard Smith was an early settler of Long Island and the namesake of Smithtown, New York. Born in Yorkshire, England, Smith, often spelled S-M-Y-T-H-E in early documents, arrived in Boston around 1650, where he married his wife Sarah before moving to Long Island several years later. He was one of the earliest settlers of Southampton, New York, and later became a patentee of Smithtown. His tombstone shows that he died on March 7, 1692. He is considered one of the founders of Smithtown due to his role in settling and selling land from his patent. Local legends have it that Richard Smith assisted in the recovery of a Long Island Indian chief's daughter, Heather Flower. Flower was the daughter of Wyandanch, a Montauk sachem, and was kidnapped by Narragansett rivals. However, she was recaptured by Smith's friend, Lyon Gardner, and brought back to Richard Smith's dwelling, where she was reunited with her father. Legend has it that Smith made an agreement with Wyandanch that he could have all the land he could encircle in one day riding on the back of a bull. From dawn to dusk, Smith rode, defining a huge domain. Bread and Cheese Hollow Road was so named because Richard Smith stopped there on the momentous ride for his noonday lunch. Though it's likely that Smith's demeanor may have something to do with inspiring the bull myth, historians have come up with several theories. One is that Smith had a pet bull that he liked to walk around town. Others point to Smith's coat of arms, a bull rising out of a shield decorated with 6 fleur-de-lis symbols. Or it could be a papal bull. Apparently, papal bulls were a type of public decree, letters patent, or charter issued by a pope of the Catholic Church. Papal bulls were sometimes used to resolve disputes between dioceses or parishes. This would certainly line up with Smith's legal battles to resolve the boundary disputes surrounding early Smithtown. These theories may have been the source of Smith's nickname, Bull Rider, and for his descendants to be known for many years as the Bull Smiths. Historians say that this makes for a nice local myth, but is not the actual truth of the matter. The real truth is that Lyon Gardner received a primary portion of the land now known as Smithtown from Grand Sachem Wyandanch for helping arrange the safe return of the chief's daughter, who was kidnapped on her wedding night. In a deed dated July 14, 1659, and witnessed by Richard Smith, Wyandanch, in the last year of his life, transferred the Smithtown lands to Gardner, his friend and benefactor. Before his death in 1663, Gardner in turn transferred the rights to this land to Smith, who later obtained a patent on March 3, 1665, from Governor Richard Nicolls of New York. Nicolls was the first English governor of the province of New York in the American colonies. The legend of Richard Smith and Whisper the Bull has continued to play a role in the town's identity. In 1941, a bronze statue of Smith's bull was unveiled near the intersection of West Main Street and St. John Land Road. The statue and its plaque commemorated the town's founder, Richard Bull Smith, and his legendary bull, Whisper. The bull got its name when students from an elementary school chose the name Whisper after a local newspaper ran a contest to see who could come up with the best name for the new statue. The statue itself has its own history. In 1903, Lawrence Smith Butler, a descendant of Richard Smith, proposed the idea of a bronze statue to his friend, sculptor Charles Cary Rumsey. Rumsey was a famous sculptor and artist of the day. Rumsey's work include the statue of Francisco Pizarro, erected in Trujillo, Spain, and the Brownsville War Memorial in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Perhaps his most celebrated work is the 1916 sculpture at the arch of the Manhattan Bridge in New York City, titled Buffalo Hunt. Rumsey agreed to the bull project, and Butler believed that money could be raised to pay for the sculpture, and a price of $12,000 was agreed upon for the completed work. Rumsey designed the sculpture in France, but it was cast in Brooklyn. 20 years later, in 1923, the casting was complete and ready for shipment. Unfortunately, Butler did not come up with the money, and while Rumsey waited a few years, Whisper eventually became a part of a major exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum in 1930. The statue sat in front of the Brooklyn Museum for a number of years before being placed in storage. In 1941, Lawrence Smith Butler persuaded Rumsey's heirs to donate the statue. He was able to cover the cost of moving the bull and convinced the town board to build a 7-foot concrete base. It was the spring of 1941 when the bull finally made its way back home. First by truck, then via railroad, and then by truck once more, the 14-foot, 5-ton bronze bull made its journey to Smithtown and to its final resting place. On May 1, 1941, Whisper the Bull was presented to Smithtown by Mary Rumsey. Mary Rumsey was the daughter of the sculptor and also the wife of New York State Governor Averell Harriman. The statue has stood there proudly for over 80 years. When Smithtown celebrated its 350th anniversary, the town of Smithtown unveiled a new statue, this time to celebrate the town's legendary founder, Richard Smith. The bronze statue joins Whisper the Bull as the latest figure to immortalize the town's history. The $300,000 statue stands at the intersection of Main Street and Route 111. The two statues greet visitors as you drive into Smithtown from the east or the west. In 2019, the town completed renovations to Whisper the Bull. Revitalization efforts included the restoration of the concrete base, a new freestanding wall, landscaping, and energy-efficient lighting. Now green with age, decades after his arrival to our town, Whisper the Bull stands as a reminder of a charming legend and the romantic history of the town of Smithtown. For Historic Smithtown, I'm Kenny Bernardini, and thanks for watching.